you know, you get a guitar, Mark, a guitar is your friend for life. And he'll be your best friend. I wasn't really thinking so much at the time, but I've had plenty of time to think about that since. And it is, you know, it's a wonderful companion to you, and I'm sure a lot of you will know that already.
I mean, you talk about them like people. They are sort of like members of the extended family, aren't they? Yeah,
well, you know, anybody that's been unfortunate enough to work in the studio with me will know that you're looking for characters for songs. You're looking for a voice in the song. They all have a different voice, you know, so that's just the funny thing about it. They don't conform to what you'd think. You'd just think, what is this? Just two bits of wood, isn't it? And the guitarists in here will know very, very, very well that that's just not the way it plays at all.
Yeah.
That they're characters. And there will be a song that answers, you know, for them, just for that one thing. And I was looking at one of them. It was a blue Echo 300 that, you know, and it just covered in sparkle. And it looks more like something you'd find at a kid's party or something. You'd get out of a swizzle stick, you know. And, but that was a song for Sonny Liston. It had the song written all over it. And when I played the song on that instrument, it worked. And, you know, I mean, I would do it on a Les Paul or different guitars for different nights, but at the time when we were doing the record, that was the guitar for it. It's the character. It's like finding a character for a play. You know, it's the same thing, and it's like casting people for a song, casting musicians for a song. I mean, I remember when I wrote a thing called Sailing to Philadelphia, I suddenly heard James Taylor singing The Other Guy. And poor old James, you know, he didn't ask for that. And
he didn't mind it, though. I happen to know that he didn't mind.
He did, great.
So you are sort of casting the guitar, aren't you?
Yeah.
So does the song always exist first before you start thinking about casting the guitar, or does sometimes it's the other way around and the guitar sort of...
You get to know your instrument, Paul. You get to know it, you know, you play it so much that you think, this is a job for a 1954 Fender Stratocaster with thick strings and a tremolo arm.
Can you really hear it? You can really hear it in your head?
Yeah, except that it could also be a Gretsch 6120 from 1957. And I'm serious. It could be one of those two guitars. And people who have studied this stuff for whatever God-forsaken reason will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But you can really call those to mind, the individual tones of the guitars.
In fact, the 6120 for the train spotters, the Shads did actually use a 6120 for some of their records, and it was indistinguishable from the Fender actually at the time because they were very similar pickups. Yes. And in 1957, the Gretsch Filtertron pickups, they changed them. And so I won't even look at a 6920 after 1957.
I'm glad you mentioned the Shads because in many ways, this is all Hank Marvin's fault, isn't it? Everything we're looking at here, that's where it starts for you, isn't it?
A lot of it is. It's always you can find a Geordie to blame for quite a lot of things. Yeah.
But you told me the story many times about, you know, how the first guitar had to be a red Strat. You wanted it to be a red Strat because of Hank Marvin. So Shadows come along, made a huge impression on you, and then you start looking at these things in the local guitar shop window, don't you?
Yeah, oh yeah. And all the cliches, nose up against the glass. And when I first actually managed to pluck up the courage to pick a guitar down from the wall, I can still see my hand reaching up tentatively to take down this Spanish guitar from the wall. And there were a couple of Geordie boys working in the shop, and one of them said, as I was lowering it carefully down, he said, "You drop that, I'll drop you." Learning on Tyneside, you know, it's...
Yeah. It's good advice.
It didn't put me off.
No. And that started the whole thing,
Yeah.
didn't it? That day really started the...
I didn't, oh, but actually, Paul, I didn't even know how to hold a guitar. I didn't even know what to do with it. I didn't even know, I hardly even knew the difference between left hand and right hand, and I just needed to be in touch with the thing. And there were some lads making them in the woodwork room, and making solid body guitars in the woodwork room.